Good morning, London. What an amazing event. It's wonderful. Tealium is about 14 years old now, and we're just delighted to have partnered with you all to build this business over that period of time. We built it by listening to you and where you think the future's headed and trying to build a great real-time technology platform to help you serve that up. And the net state of that, as you see today, we have 10 of the 20 largest banks in the world use Tealium, 6 of the 10 largest telcos, 3 of the 5 largest airlines. And so we're here to solve big problems and create big opportunities for great companies. That has put us in a great market leadership position. And word has it, there's a new Gartner thing coming out today. Maybe by the end of the day, we'll be able to show you Tealium still as a market leader. And that leadership has led to incredible growth. I want to talk to you about a couple of trends we're seeing and how you, our customers and our partners, use our platform and how that relates to market trends. But we're seeing things like 270%. That's almost a quadrupling of event stream functions usage. We're seeing insights tripling, and that's the use of data access to show insights, because this data is more and more valuable every day. We're seeing incredible CAPI adoption, the conversion APIs, and we have some of our advertising partners in the room. Over 1,600 SDKs and mobile apps. People don't realize it, but over 55% of Tealium's traffic actually comes from mobile, not web. And then down in the lower right there, you see call center integration. So we have always been talking about Tealium being a cross-enterprise, all-channel real-time data collection platform. So we love seeing people using call center interfaces. Moments IQ, which we launched here last year, and we saw a great presentation yesterday from Legal & General, utilizing Moments IQ to almost double conversion rates because of the value of that in-the-moment visitor profile. Consent integrations, we also talked about consent yesterday, showing you how consent orchestration works because privacy and compliance are critical. So those trends are great trends in usage. And we think about it, we're entrepreneurs just like you all. We build companies, build businesses. And so as we think about our own roadmap, we think about the 4 major forces, both creating opportunities and also creating risks for you in your companies. So they're the obvious AI. There's privacy and security because around the world there's more and more governance requirements. There's efficiency because every company has to be more efficient. And there's the consumer experience because customers today expect and demand personalized experiences. And so now if you think about those 4 driving forces and those usage trends you see in our product, they're directly correlated. So the mobile, the call center, and the Moments IQ, that's about having a real-time, enhanced, personalized customer experience. The consent integrations, that's because of privacy. And then the cloud and the CAPI adoptions, that's because of efficiency. And we're here as your business partners to listen to you. We're also here to preach a little bit about having an incredible data architecture and a great data strategy, because we think if you do not have that, you run the risk of missing an entire generation of future customers. If you think back here, in 1994, I got into the bank software business, and if you did not have an IVR, that stands for interactive voice response for those of you who are young, you missed a whole generation. In 1998, if you didn't put up a website as a bank, you missed an entire generation. In 2010, if you didn't have a great mobile app, you missed an entire generation. My kids are in their 20s and 30s, and they've never been in a bank branch, for an example. And we believe that this year, 2025, you have to have a great data architecture that will support AI and be able to fuel data in the agentic future. What do I mean by that? What is the AI agentic future? Well, if you think about today, AI, most of us interface with AI, and it's kind of this cool co-pilot here, and it sort of helps us along, and it gives us some answers. But very rapidly, we're seeing agents be built. And by next year, you're going to have autonomous agents that are going to go out into the digital ecosystem and do work on your behalf. And then by 2027, there are going to be swarms of agents and billions of specialized agents that are purpose-built, and they are all going to collaborate on your behalf to get work done. Now, these agents are not going to be browsing websites. They're going to be connecting to your companies via APIs. And if you're not ready for that, again, you'll miss a generation. So as I talk about agents and APIs, that probably sounds futuristic. One of my favorite authors is William Gibson. He wrote a book called Neuromancer. It's what The Matrix, the movie, was built on. This guy invented the term cyberspace in 1993, very visionary. He has a great saying, the future is already here. It is just not evenly distributed. So you say, Jeff, agent API is talking, well, guess what? It's already happening in crypto. It's already here. It's just not evenly distributed. There are over 1,400 agents out there in crypto land right now, autonomously mining data and doing trades and connecting to each other via APIs without any human involvement. It's pretty crazy. And if you doubt me, so what Tealium believes is going to happen, just like we have conversion APIs today from Google, Snapchat, Meta, TikTok, AWS ads, we believe you're going to see the rise of agent service APIs. And when Bob and Jennifer talk about our roadmap later, you'll hear them talk about Tealium opening up our platform so that we can serve this data. So if we look into the future, that's what we see, ASAPis that are descendants of Cappies. And if you don't believe me, just ask Grok. Hey, Grok, are people doing APIs for services? Yes, Jeff, they are. They have begun publishing APIs specifically for AI agents to connect to reducing reliance on websites. It's already happening. The future's already here. It's just not evenly distributed. Why are they doing this? For efficiency, scalability, control, and monetization. So those four forces I talked about, they create opportunities and they create threats. AI is connected to all of it. AI is at the heart. And at the heart of AI is your data. You as a company must have a great data strategy. Proactive data strategy and great execution, that's going to separate the winners from the survivors from the losers. We want all of you in Tealium's customers, both existing and future, to be the winners of the future. So AI is going to be everywhere. As I said, they're going to be highly specialized agents doing very purpose-built things. You'll have fraud agents, you'll have sentiment agents, you'll have transaction agents, next best product agents. And the data they need, you know, our average customer has about 500 attributes in the data layer. Some of you all have thousands. But you don't need to send all 500 attributes to a specific AI algorithm. You want to filter the right data with the right attributes that can provide signal. And that is going to create great efficiency and great output, which I'll give you examples of in a moment. And if you do that, you're going to get a huge lift, a huge lift. And the other thing you can never forget is that bottom bullet. You must be privacy compliant. You have to maintain consent because they're not just opportunities, there's also risks, right? Last year, 50 billion US dollars were lost from fraud and security breaches in the EU, UK, and the US. These are big dollars, big dollars. So data governance, as data becomes more and more ubiquitous and sources everywhere, data governance becomes critical. And if you go to that efficiency mandate, right, you have to run an efficient business today or you will not survive. The easiest way to be more efficient is just to prevent losses, right? And then you have to think about what you all know and have come to know for the last Tealium for is marketing effectiveness, improving return on ad spend. You're going to use things like cloud compute. You saw yesterday how we're embracing the cloud data warehouse movement and integrating seamlessly with them. And you're going to need customer experiences that increase conversion. Mike will talk later, one of Tealium's co-founders, but he talks about turning conversion funnels into cylinders because they're so good at what you do and understanding your customers. The next is customer experience. Customers today expect personalized content. They expect you to know them. If you do not know them when you interface with them, they're going to go on to the next thing. The only way you can know them is to have robust visitor profiles, and they must be available in real time so that you can enhance them in the moments that matter, right? Just like yesterday, LNG showed that when you swap two domains, but that you know their account number, you can tie that together and almost double your conversion rate. And it's all about real-time collection, enrichment, and activation. And lastly, again, what's that last bullet? Privacy and compliance. We invest heavily in privacy and compliance. We host auditors from our banks and airlines that want to come audit us, and we love that because that creates trust. So to win, we believe what you need is what we call an intelligent data streaming platform for the enterprise. It's intelligent because it's all seeing, all knowing, all acting. All seeing means just it picks up data from every channel. Point of sale, kiosk, branch, store, mobile app, website, all seeing. All knowing because it knows consent. It knows your preferences. We've created personalized attributes. And all acting because we have over 1,300 connectors where you can take that and drive action, enhance the customer experience. Streaming, it's all real time. Streaming is the state of the art for enterprise data architecture today. If you think in the past, Kaylin yesterday from Compare the Market said, we had a CRM system and it had about 50 steps to do things with it. And then we took the customer profile and we put it in Tealium and wow, we had these huge unlocks and our results improved dramatically. So that's what happens when you go from batch to streaming. If you have a streaming elegant architecture that does collection, real time, serves it up through APIs, has activation connectors, you're not paying now to have data at rest. In a batch architecture, you collect data, you pipeline it, you do workloads, you pay to store it, you pay to run the workloads. If you have a streaming architecture, the data just flows through, it gets enhanced, enriched, and governed all on the fly. And it's a much, much better architecture. And enterprise, as I said, we invest heavily. We have privacy lawyers on staff, we have security engineers, we have third-party auditors. This is incredibly, incredibly important. The enterprise-grade capabilities of Tealium probably take 30% of our R&D, but we don't, it's not the sizzle, but it is absolutely important. We want you to trust us. It's a trust platform because the trust between you and your customers is what's at stake here. So streaming is a better way. If you have a streaming architecture, you get rid of data wrangling. No data wrangling. Data wrangling is slow, expensive, batch, backward-looking hairball. Streaming is the way. And like I said, you replace all sorts of expenses with much better results. So love math. This is my favorite new equation that we invented to kind of just sum all this up. And what it says is zero-party data plus first-party data plus conversion APIs to the power of AI creates amazing outcomes. And these amazing outcomes, even to me, so I've been doing this for 30 years. By this, I mean the software business. And I would have thought that we launched the world's first internet bank. It was called Security First Network Bank in 1995. So we are now 30 years past the point of the advent of what I would call the commercial internet. I would think that you might be improving business results by 1 or 2 or maybe 5%. It blows my mind that we have customers that are improving conversion rates by like 137%. We had a large US retailer 2 weeks ago in San Diego who said that by using Tealium real-time data and an omni-channel conversion API, they did an A/B test and the consumers that they were able to drive into their physical store as a targeted audience, the sales increased by 137%. That's 2.37 times more sales. So this is not just rounding and fine tuning. This is transformational success. We had a great speaker who, 12-year data scientist professional who began using Tealium's data to feed their AI models and predict behavior. And what he told us was, I've been doing this for 12 years and I've been collecting all this historical data and running prediction scores, paying for workloads and storage. When I started looking at the Tealium data, what we figured out as data scientists was that 30 seconds of real-time behavioral data was more predictive than the 10 years of transactional history we had. And we could just throw out those historical models. These were his words, not mine. It's an amazing, amazing opportunity here. And lastly, we had the CEO and owner of 30 auto dealerships in the USA stand on stage and say, I have 30 stores, they call them, and I have a conversion funnel like any business, and I used to get 10% of the people at the top of my funnel would end up buying a car. I started partnering with Tealium and doing real-time marketing and audience segmentation. I went from 10% to 30% conversion rate. This is 200% growth, a tripling of revenue for this guy. It's unbelievable. Again, that's what I mean by amazing results. So back to streaming, right? Streaming is not new. We stood here in this building in 2013 and launched Audience Stream, an event Stream. That's 12 years ago, right? Tealium has always been into streaming, and so AI Stream, a product we launched two weeks ago, is, for those of you that are existing customers, it's basically an encapsulation of what you already own. You don't have to buy anything to use Tealium for AI. It is ready for you, real-time streaming. We will partner with you, collaborate. Our AI strategists like Simon Taylor will talk to you about what kind of attributes should you put in. And the reason this platform is so optimal for AI, that 12-year AI scientist that found Tealium, you know, if you talk to your data scientists, and we want to meet with them, we want to meet with your AI teams, please set it up. And they're all looking for data. And when they start going around the company looking for data, they find that this real-time customer profile is the single best source of data for being successful with AI. And this gentleman stood on stage, Matt Fritz, and you know, he said, when I was surveying all my data sources for customer data, I realized Tealium was definitively the vendor. I prohibitively had to use you. And I was like, prohibitively had to use Tealium? What do you mean? That's great. That's a good thing to hear. Why? Why was prohibitively were we the vendor of choice? He said, well, you're privacy compliant, you're already installed, you're real time, and you have the whole visitor profile. It's just so easy. So we want to meet with your AI teams. We're seeing across our customer base all sorts of AI projects. We're seeing next best action, product recommendations, call center sentiment, couponing to enhance customer behavior. And so we want to listen to what you're trying to do, and we'll show you how we can do it. You'll hear us going to market this year, talking a lot about consent, privacy, and governance. That is absolutely critical. You'll hear us talking about the classic customer data hub, customer data platform work, and then you'll obviously hear us talking about AI. And underlying all that is the ability to look at this real-time data with the Amazon Tealium Insights, which is based on Amazon QuickSight, and really get the absolute best analytics source within the enterprise. This is Tealium Insights. It can be used for attribution, churn prediction, campaign performance, web analytics, you name it, but it's omni-channel analytics and compliance, legal, and consent. So I'm going to close by thanking you again. And prior to being in the software business, I was actually an aviator, and I flew the F-18 Hornet. This is our radar scan, right? This is an 80-mile radar scan. And the reason we have these events, this community is so valuable. We've built Tealium into that market leadership position by listening to you all, our customers and our partners. You help us understand what's over the horizon. And it really doesn't matter if it's conversion APIs or zero-party data or agent service APIs or privacy regulations. Whatever the future brings, our job is to stay neutral, to connect to all the vendors in the ecosystem, and to reduce the friction so that you can get some of those amazing results. So thank you very much for your time.